Hi everybody. So here I am with John Smulo. He is the CEO of Purple Cow in Philippines, and he's also the owner of the Delish Deli in Cebu. So welcome, John.
Thank you. Thank you. Great to be here, Jimbo.
Thank you. So can you tell my viewer like what is your business? What is Purple Cow?
Sure. So actually, the first Purple Cow was started in Silicon Valley in California, and I
Mm-hmm.
still have an office there. And we are a digital marketing agency there. And then in the Philippines, we are a business process outsourcing company. And so the core things that we do is outsource marketing teams,
Uh,
outsource sales teams, and outsourced employees.
okay. So, can when you say digital marketing, like, can you be
Yeah.
more like specific? Like, exactly is that? What's that mean?
Sure. So we use online tools from websites to social media marketing,
Hmm.
different tactics like that to help small businesses grow,
Oh, okay.
sometimes larger businesses as well. And so these days, so many people are online. And so it's a
Uh,
great way for businesses to grow themselves where other people's are
Absolutely.
in everyday life. Yeah.
Hmm.
So some of the tools we use are things like YouTube,
Hmm.
what we're talking on right now, Facebook, a lot of different strategies that we're able to focus on.
Exactly. So, I believe that you like you are building website, right? That's I think
That,
one of the main thing that your company do is website.
yes, yeah. On the California side of it, actually, when we first started 14 years ago,
Hmm.
it was just me building websites, and then we started to hire employees, and as our customers would start to say, do you do search engine optimization, or do you do online ads or
Hmm.
social media marketing? We really grew with our clients over time to become a full service digital marketing agency, but definitely websites, mobile apps are a big part of what we do.
Okay, great. So website when we say website, let's say if somebody is looking to have a website, can you kind of let us know like how long will it take to build maybe a simple website to more detailed website? It's like can you give people like an idea? If somebody want,
Sure,
how long will it take?
sure. Yeah, so it depends on the company you work with. With us, it takes about 3 to 4 weeks for a simple website,
Hmm.
and it could take 3 to 4 months to
Oh,
build a much
wow.
larger, more complex website. Other companies out there might take a few days to put together a website. And so part of it really depends on how you put the website together.
Mm.
Some other companies will use existing templates,
Mhm.
and for people out there that want a quick, cheap option,
Mhm.
that's a way that they could put up a website is to just use an existing design out there.
Mhm.
The good part about that, it's quick, cheap. The downside of that is there's probably 20,000 other people using exactly the
Yeah,
same
that's right.
design.
So
So
this
our process takes a little bit longer because we'll have one of our designers custom design the site, and
mhm.
then once a client is 100% happy with the design, then we'll code it into a custom website.
Mm. So when you say template, it's like something like maybe a caterer or maybe a doctor office. Is that something like that?
It could really be any type of design.
Oh.
So with a website template, what happens is that a company like ours would have also custom designed it and then custom coded it.
Mm.
But then instead of selling it to just one client,
Mhm.
they'll sell it to thousands of clients
Mm.
that will be using the same design. So
Yeah,
for the original company, it also took them longer, but then they're able to kind of sell the same thing for a much
exactly.
lower price.
It's almost
Yes.
like you created your own, right? If you're just going to use a template. So for me, I don't know, just listening from you, I would, rather have a custom made than than a template,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it's definitely recommended. If you have your own company, it's ideal to have your own,
Yeah.
branding. If somebody
Ex-
looks at your hat, they immediately know it's Nike.
right.
They could have purchased a stock logo
Mm.
that thousands of other companies use, but they wanted to brand themselves so people know who they are. And so with companies, definitely we recommend that
Mm.
they get things that are unique to their company and who they are, so people really get to familiarize themselves with that company's brand.
So you do everything. You also like create their logo. Do you something like
Yes.
that, right? Okay,
Yes, yeah. Anything with graphic design, we do.
excellent.
And there's a lot of sophisticated digital marketing
Right.
strategies out there that are quite technical. They would,
Mm-hmm.
put you and your listeners to sleep. So, we don't need to go out there. But if there is people watching that are, interested in digital marketing, there's really a lot of great information online out there.
Got you. So the can you give us like how much would that be? Are you able to tell? Like just you don't have to be in detail. Like maybe starting from how much to certain amount. Some Filipino love to ask how much.
Sure, sure. Yeah. Tag Pila. So for our custom designs, for us, they start off at about 3,500 for a custom website. So that would be something that an average business would need
Mm-hmm.
without something that needs something that's very specialized. And I mean, we have clients that spend tens of thousands of dollars
Mm-hmm.
for websites, but they really need a much more robust custom solution. So it
Gotcha.
really depends on the scope of work.
Right.
But for everyday businesses, they really don't need a lot of that
Mm.
custom coding where websites take months.
Mm.
And so mostly you would expect, if you're working with a company like ours, between about 3,500 to 5,000 for a website.
I think that was very reasonable. Because I
I do
know
too.
I know the prices of the website. I used to have a website. This is a long time ago, so I would say that your price is very reasonable.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Not everybody agrees with you, but
No, no, no.
yeah,
Because
we're
I know
definitely
it happened
yeah.
to I know a little bit about the about website. So I'm just letting people know
I
it's
appreciate it.
reasonable. And coming
Yeah,
from me, people know me as being cheap. So
sure, sure.
anyway, so the other things that I want to I understand that you moved into a new office building. How many
That's
employee do
correct.
you have right now currently?
Here we just have just under 40 now.
Wow,
Uh,
that's
so
big. That's a lot.
yeah, we split those between a day shift that's working on digital marketing, the kinds
Mm-hmm.
of things that we talked about over here as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then at nighttime, we have our sales team that are calling the US
Oh.
primarily as well. So we're really, we believe that sales and marketing are two sides of the same coin. They really work
Mm-hmm.
hand in hand. And so that is how our operations are set up during the day. Philippines time, we're really working on websites, digital marketing.
Hmm.
And then at nighttime, we're working primarily on appointment setting and sales to help companies, mostly in the US, with their sales
Uh-huh.
needs.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's good. And then so the other thing I want to ask you though, how do you as a CEO, how do you like motivate your worker?
Yeah, so for me, I really care for the people that work with us. So that's
Mm-hmm.
just kind of how I'm built.
Mm-hmm.
And in the Philippines, that's had some cultural challenges at times. So I've really found that being a leader in the US compared to being a leader in the Philippines
Mm-hmm.
needs to look a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
And so what worked well for me as a boss in the US
Uh-huh.
uh, was a little bit of a catastrophe, in some ways here in the Philippines. And I think that there's, just cultural differences between countries when it comes to food or clothing or
Mm-hmm.
how families or people interact with each other. But equally so, there's really differences when it comes to work culture as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's been a learning experience for me here.
Mm-hmm.
And, we have a really close team over here, but I found that I've really needed to be the one that adapts to
Mm-hmm.
the culture, and that's a learning experience. I've been here almost 3 years, and I've learned a lot, but I
Mm-hmm.
still have so much to learn.
Yeah, it's true. Do you like? Do you have this sometime? Run into people not showing up. Something like that
All the time.
all the time,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes. So for example, and honestly, on my YouTube channel, I mostly don't mention a lot of these things because
Oh,
the overwhelming majority of people here are really doing a great job, and I don't want people to feel like
I understand your
I'm
point. Yeah.
generalizing. But yes, we could have 4 interviews for a job position, and out of the 4, maybe 0 show up, maybe 1 shows up,
Mm,
and especially I think during the pandemic.
mm.
Those type of challenges have increased. A lot of people were, really had health concerns. It's very expensive if you have to go to the
Or
hospital here, and a lot of it you have to pay up front.
mm.
So I really understand those challenges, but definitely,
It's a challenge. I understand because
yes,
I have to deal with that also when I was still in the Philippines, and then I have shared that on my video that
yeah,
there's a there's a challenge there. Kind of try to motivate people to work because some people just like to work for today and then tomorrow as we call
yes.
in Tagalog bahala na, it's like whatever.
Yeah, yes, yes. I think I lived in Hawaii for 2 years
Yeah.
previously, and they really used to joke about island time.
Yep.
Nobody was in
Very
a rush.
very laid back. Very laid back. So.
Yes, and similar here. Similar here is well. I think if you lived in Makati or somewhere in Manila,
Hmm.
it would be a little bit different. But in a lot of the Philippines, it's a little bit more of that Hawaiian island time thinking.
I know. Okay. So how about the daily business? How is it doing?
It's doing good. So we've really grown through the pandemic.
Hmm.
There's been so many challenges, of course, as well, and growth doesn't look like this. It kind of looks
Yeah,
like
I
this
know. I mean,
at times, but
mm,
yeah, it's going well. Especially some of the things that we do, like outsource employees here. There's so many companies in the U.S. that really experienced
right.
remote workers for the first time during the pandemic, and kind of figured out, hey, this could work as well.
Hmm.
But there's so many people in the U.S. Where it seems like a lot of people there don't want to work like they did before
People
as
are getting
well.
tired. Over here, people are just getting tired with a lot of things.
Yeah.
The your daily business is downstairs the building, though. How many do you? So your basically your business there in the deli is catered to the whole building, right? Or do you get outside people customer?
Yeah, we get outside. So with Delish Deli, my wife Grace
Mm-hmm.
runs those more than I do, so I'm
Mm,
involved. But
mm,
I really got to give credit to my wife for running those. So
mm.
at the high rise where we are, like one of the buildings in your background, we have in the basement food lounge here. There's about a dozen restaurants. We're one of them, and
Mm,
then we have another location for Delish Deli as well in Cebu City, and we're also in the lobby of a high rise there. So
mm,
we definitely do cater for the building here,
mm-hmm.
but there's services, Food Panda, Grab. They're kind of like Uber Eats
Yes.
or food delivery places. So we get a lot of orders from
Oh wow,
food delivery
that's
places.
interesting. Okay, that's good. So
Yeah.
you not only depend on the building.
No, actually, in both locations, we have more sales from outside of the building than from
Mm,
inside of the buildings. So the people will come here like any other restaurant to get food, and there's plenty of seating and
that,
all those kinds of things that you need. Our first location's much smaller in terms of
mm-hmm,
seatings and things like that than the second location where I am now.
mm-hmm.
But both places, we have people from outside and inside living at the building as well.
Very interesting. At one time when I was just here, came here, not when I was still new in the U.S. That
Mm.
is one thing I look into. I was planning to do like it's the same thing like an office building. I just do like a deli downstairs to
Hmm.
cater to the to the people working there. But
Yeah.
some reason it did not work out. We could not come up with a deal. So I also have a little bit
Sure.
experience on that one. Listening to your video, and you mentioned about. I think. Oh no! I think watching one of your video about get something like getting rich in the Philippines, and you
Hmm.
did mention Henry C. And
Hmm.
I know Henry C. Not really personally, but through as a customer. When at that time
Uh-huh.
when I was still there,
Mm.
he was just he's big. He has a couple of store, but not like mega mall. So
Right.
I used to go there and then
Wow.
deal with his son most of the time. And he's the one who's checking the product, which one to order. Like the shoes. They were in big
Hmm.
time in shoe business.
Right.
So that is my life in the Philippines. I was in the sale business, but I'm not a good sales. I don't consider myself a good salesperson. Or
Hmm.
see what I do when I try to sell, but my sales is always going up. For me,
Right.
I don't consider as my skill was using as a sales talk. I just use my skill like when I go into the store, I treat them like a friend. I think maybe we have the
Hmm.
same um,
Approach.
what the
Personality with us.
personality. I don't like try to go in there try to sales talk my product. I go in there as your friend. I go
Yeah.
reach out. How are you? How's family? How you doing? Yeah, I try to do that than to sell my product. And then there are times I go there, I bring my product without bringing it out. I would just talk, chatting with the customer, and
Hmm.
then sometimes I say, okay, I think I'm gonna go now. And he said, hey, don't you got sample to show me? that's
Yeah.
my
I'm,
sell.
I'm, I'm
th-
very similar.
That's my sales pitch. Instead of just going in there all the time, to show the sample. That's what I do. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, nobody wants to deal with their perception of a salesperson, but
exactly.
everybody wants to be helped, and people enjoy buying something that they want.
Right, right, right. Okay, so and then so what so far why did you choose Cebu instead of let's say another big city like Davao or Manila? Do you have any particular reason that
Yeah, so at the beginning when I was looking at where I would open up the business, I met my now wife Grace,
Grace, right?
and she was living here and working as a team leader for a Japanese business process outsourcing
Mm,
company, so similar type of company to what we have, and she really had a lot of experience building teams and leading people over here, and it just kind of made sense. We really hit it off,
okay.
right away. And so Cebu City, really, I think, after Manila is, the city that's really growing the most.
Yeah,
If
I
you
think
look,
so.
everywhere around here, there's, cranes building large high
Hmm.
rises and a lot of businesses moving here, Amazon and JP Morgan and,
Oh
lots
wow.
of very big companies are within a mile,
Oh.
really a quarter mile of
Mm-hmm.
where I am right now at our office. So
Mm,
it's there's two main business hubs right where we are here, and it's a great place to be for our type of business where we're
mm,
looking to recruit talented people.
mm,
I do plan on opening up an office in Manila
mm,
in the near future, just to
mm-hmm.
be able to have access to more talented people.
Mm.
But Cebu City really made sense, especially because Grace was here,
Um,
but also because it really is a great place to start a business.
Hmm. I never been to Cebu. I think I only been there one time, but I have no recollection of Cebu. But I know I
Sure.
seen in the in on YouTube.
Mhm.
It's almost like Makati, like you were saying, high rise building. So
Yes,
it's pretty good. So
it is. Yeah.
anyway, I think I cover most of this. Anything that you oh, by the way, also your one of I think you have maybe I seen it on your channel that you also do beside the website you also have like a manpower, right, or virtual assistant.
Yes, yeah. So that's what we do with Purple Cow Philippines with
Mm,
outsourced employees, outsourced marketing teams, outsourced sales teams. So sometimes companies will come to us and they'll say, we either have no marketing team or no sales team,
mm-hmm,
and we need someone that has that expertise that we want to outsource that to,
mm,
so our business could focus on the things that we're best at.
mm,
And other times, businesses will say we have really specific job descriptions that might not have anything to do with marketing or sales.
mm-hmm,
So we've hired accountants or people that are energy specialists to work for architecture firms in Australia.
mm-hmm,
Really, anything that could be done remotely, our
mm,
company can recruit for, and then
right.
employees will work outside of our office here
Mm,
with me and our HR project managers overseeing the team each day. But that's really our main focus in the Philippines is helping other businesses with employee needs that they have.
mm. Yeah, now I know a lot of things now is involved with virtual, like a virtual assistant is very popular. um,
Yes.
because
Yeah, a lot of people find it very helpful, even if it's not a business.
mm-hmm,
A lot of people will just be busy in everyday life, and
mm-hmm,
they'll want somebody that does tasks that take a lot of their time that they
exactly.
either don't have the time for or they don't
Mm-hmm,
want to do.
mm,
And it's just, a very reasonable cost, for a lot of those, type of positions to hire somebody here that
mm,
really helps out for those types of tasks. So I think that that's really helped our business grow is people have really seen that they could save a lot of time so they could
mm-hmm,
put their energy into the things that they do best and kind of outsource tasks that slow them down a bit to a virtual assistant
mm,
in somewhere like the Philippines.
mm. Okay. All right. So if somebody need a virtual assistant and then they contacted you, do you have the person right away, or you gonna have to like search for that person to for that company?
It really depends, on the type of virtual assistant that they need.
Mm-hmm,
So a virtual assistant might be someone that does everyday, tasks, admin work,
mm-hmm,
and a virtual assistant could be someone that is a web developer, something that's a
mm,
bit more technical. So
mm-hmm,
I think that people often think of VAs in terms of low-level tasks, but
mm,
really virtual assistants can do just about anything that you can imagine that can be done from a computer. So
mm-hmm,
often we'll have people either that can work right away, or
mm,
we'll have people that our human resources team has already talked to that we'll be able to bring into right away.
mm,
And so normally how it works is we will have the client that is looking for a VA do a final interview over Zoom,
mm,
so they're able to make the final choice on who they would want to work with them.
mm. Yeah. Yeah, Zoom is great. Now
Mhm.
everybody's using Zoom now. Instead of
Yeah.
sometimes instead of going for a meeting, they just do Zoom.
Yes. So true. Yeah.
Anyway, so all right. So anything that you want to add? You want to share your experience in the Philippines?
Sure, sure. I mean, for me, I'd have to say I'm really grateful that I've had the opportunity to move here.
Mm-hmm.
It's been an amazing experience. Just the people here are a breath of fresh air, just in terms of how respectful and kind
That's
people are.
true.
It's really a different experience compared to living in the US.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's so many Filipinos here that want to move to the US, and I just kind of shake my head and say, "Oh my gosh, you're living in such a great place
Exactly right.
already." Yes, and I know that people here, really feel like, well, I would be able to make so much more living in the U.S.
Yeah, but
But
you
often, Yeah, they don't know how much more they would be spending
That's true.
is it as well. So yeah, I'm really grateful to be living here. And also, I would just say if there's anybody that wants to start a business here,
Hmm.
often I'll have people reach out and say, "How'd you start a business in the Philippines?" It's not definitely not as easy as starting one in the U.S., where you could kind of use LegalZoom or a company like that and be up and running
Hmm.
the same day. So I'd be happy if anybody has any questions about that, feel free to reach out as well.
Okay, good. I'm gonna put your information down below. Put a link, and also
I
yeah,
appreciate it.
like you were saying about I know a lot of Filipino they would love to migrate to U.S. or UK, Australia because they were thinking that they're gonna make more money, which is true, but at the same time your expenses is going to be more too. So I
Absolutely.
always try to tell people that if you have a good job in wherever you are in
Yeah.
Philippines or in Taiwan, because I have friends there,
Hmm.
just stay put because maybe it's better where you are now than over here.
Yeah.
Over here,
Yeah.
the inflation is skyrocketing, gas prices. I mean, everything was, it
Yes. Yeah. Yeah,
that's
definitely. I
why.
mean, the average,
Go ahead, go ahead.
uh, sorry, Jim, the average, income here is definitely, drastically lower than in the US, but I see more homeless people in
Mm,
the US. So, just having a 40-hour job and
mm-hmm,
working hard doesn't guarantee you could pay your bills in the
mm,
US. Here, I think because of family structures,
mm-hmm,
really overwhelmingly, even if people don't have a lot, people really work together as a family to make sure
mm,
that everybody makes it.
mm,
And I really see people smiling here, complaining far less. So, just simply having more doesn't
mm,
necessarily mean that you'll be more content or more happy.
mm,
I feel that people here, for the most part, definitely with less material things, are far more content and far more happy.
mm,
And so I really think there's something for, Americans like myself to learn from Filipinos
mm-hmm.
living here. Yeah.
What's the average salary right now? Because I have no clue in the Philippines. What's the like average people make right now for a regular employee?
Yeah, it really depends on the type of work that they have. So
Oh,
for, most jobs,
mm-hmm,
it's probably about the equivalent of $250 a month.
mm,
And then of course the company is paying government benefits, and companies like ours
oh,
are paying private health care and things on top of that. But if it's a company like mine where they're specialized skills, mostly people are getting 3 to 4 times the
oh,
average salary that they would at another job. So it really depends on what people are doing.
uh huh,
A lot of people here want to work in the BPO industry, like I have here,
mm,
because they're able to make exponentially more what they would be able to make if they were working
mm-hmm.
uh, at just kind of an everyday job.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. All right, thank you so much, Jan, for your time. I know you're
My
such a
pleasure.
busy man. I have to say though, I don't know how you keep your composure. Because you have so many things going on, but you look so relaxed. I mean, what's the secret?
On the outside.
Yes.
I think my loss of hair shows what I'm doing on the inside. Uh, but yes, I mean definitely my life still has stresses here. I'm juggling a lot, but I
Uh-huh.
think I'm just grateful for my life and loved ones around me. I really love our employees and team
Mm-hmm.
over here, and that's what really keeps me sane with all of the busyness.
Okay. Very good. Thank you again, Jan. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I
Take
appreciate it.
take care. Bye bye.
You too. Bye now.